Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Skin Boutique. Now, on today's episode, I want us to learn how to set and bake our makeup. Yes, you heard that right. In makeup, we actually bake, not the cake. Anyway, let's get right into it. Of course, before we get right into it, let's adjust this band because it's feeling a bit loose. I want it up and tight on my head. Okay, is she like okay? You know what? That's fine. That's all right. So yeah, guys, let's get right into it in about 6 seconds. Now, I actually have like three hacks, like three approaches to baking and setting your makeup. So let's go through them. First, I'm just gonna like apply my foundation like really quickly, just to kind of like illustrate. I think that's enough. I think one coat is enough. Foundation usually don't need so much foundation, especially on your forehead because the skin on your forehead is really thin. So just a little bit on my eyelids, my nose. Yeah, then very quickly apply concealer because we have to bake the concealer. I don't know if that makes sense. Now let's just blend this concealer really quick. I've given it like 2 minutes to dry and become tacky to give me the coverage I need. So I'm just blending it out. Now, the first method is taking your sponge. It has to be slightly like damp, not wet though. And then you're gonna pick up your translucent powder with it. And you can see I have a hell of a lot of translucent powder on it. So you're just gonna pick up like generously, right? And then apply under your eye. Now you can see it's totally white, and that's fine because we are going to give it 5 to 10 minutes and then sweep it off. So for this, if you want a long wear matte and full coverage type of look, go with this method. Okay, and then we're gonna give it 5 to 10 minutes and then sweep it off with a powder brush. Now we're going to sweep it off with a very fluffy powder brush, and this is after waiting like 5 to 10 minutes. And as you can see, that coverage is full and our concealer is going nowhere. If you want a natural finish to your makeup, like a skin like finish to your makeup, you're gonna take your powder brush and dip it into that translucent powder or like setting powder, tap off the excess of course, and then just lightly okay, well, not sweep because I think if you sweep it's gonna move the foundation. So like just lightly tap under your eye. Be careful that the bristles don't go in your eyes, but yeah, this basically it. Now, as you can see, there's a very, very huge difference between using that sponge to apply and bake the powder and also using a brush and just patting it very lightly on the skin. Now, this is for everyday normal, skin-like finish, and this is for like full coverage finish. Quite truthfully, I'd go with the full coverage. So for the last hack that I have up my sleeve, you're gonna need a pressed powder. And you're gonna just apply that pressed powder. As you can see, I have my pressed powder here, and I'm just gonna like go in with a powder puff and then come back and apply it. Now I'm using this side because there's not so much powder on this other side, so I'm just gonna like press it in like this. Let me just diffuse some of those rough edges, and then we're gonna use a setting spray. So I'm just gonna like whew, go in with that setting spray and then give it a minute or two to dry. That setting spray just hit my eyeball. Oh my goodness. Oh, it burns. Now after that setting spray is about to dry, like it's not totally dry, it's about to dry. Don't do this when it's wet. I repeat, do not do this next step if your setting spray is still very wet. All right, if it's just about to dry, you'll feel it. You'll kind of feel it on your skin. Okay, you're gonna take your sponge again and just press that in, like so. Now I'm gonna set the rest of my face using very little powder. Now you need to note one thing. If you're going to set your under eye pretty heavily, as I have shown you, then do yourself a favor and don't do the same for the rest of your face, because it will just end up being a whole, cakey mess. The best thing is to also retouch throughout the day to avoid like creasing and caking. So let me just set the rest of my makeup. As you can see, you still want to have a bit of dewiness like peek through, right? So don't overdo like the setting. Of course, there's nothing wrong with just buffing everything out for that, seamless finish, and done. Oh, I also forgot to give you this one tip now. When you bake as much as I do, you're gonna need to test flash photography on your makeup so that your powder doesn't like pop up in photos, because some setting powders and translucent powders and pressed powders contain silica, and silica often shows up in photography. So you want to bake but also use flash photography before you leave the house. And that's it, we're done. I'm just like locking everything in. It went in my mouth again. Why do I need to talk while doing the setting spray? But I guarantee you, if you bake like this, your makeup is going nowhere. Nowhere. Of course, I hope you all learned something about baking your makeup and not the cake. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.